Hello everyone, today we are going to read about microorganisms. Yesterday we have started this chapter. We can also call them microbes, and in this slide we are going to continue it. Yesterday we have learnt about microorganisms, what are they and how can we see them. Now we have also learnt that there are different types of microorganisms which can be classified as bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi and virus. In yesterday's slide, we have read about bacteria and virus in detail. Now, in the continuation of these different types of microorganisms, we are going to read about protozoa, algae and fungi. Now, first of all, algae. Algae is a group of simple plants, and when we talk about Latin language, so algae means seaweeds in Latin language. Algae vary in size, shape and habitat. Some of the algae can be unicellular and some can be multicellular. They have no stem, roots and leaves like other plants, but they have chlorophyll and they can make their own food through photosynthesis. Some examples of algae are seaweeds and Spirogyra. In this slide, you can see algae. Now, where do we find this algae? I am sure that you all have seen a green layer on some water bodies. This you can see during the summer season in our Kishore Sagar lake also. Now, what are they? This is basically algae, and when it is on a very large number, then it is known as an algal bloom or marine bloom. Water bloom is a rapid increase in the population of algae in an aquatic system. Sometimes algae can be yellowish brown or red also. Algae or the algal bloom may occur in fresh water as well as marine environments. In this photograph, you can again see that algae is there, and you can see how it looks when we want to take it in our hand. Now the next topic is fungus or fungi. Fungi is a group of diverse organisms that lack chlorophyll. They generally grow in dark, warm and moist conditions. Most fungi are saprophytes. Now, what are saprophytes? Saprophytes are those which feed on dead and decaying organisms or the dead and decaying material. Some fungi may be parasitic also. Fungi are unicellular or multicellular. Some examples of fungi are yeast, mold or mushroom. In this slide, you can see example of fungi, that is mushroom. Look how beautiful it is and how colorful it is, but it could be poisonous. In this slide, you can again see example of fungi, a different type of mushroom. Here you can see another example of fungi, that is mold. Here you can see yeast, which is also a fungi or an example of fungi. Yeast reproduces very rapidly. Now the next topic is protozoa. Protozoan means the first animal. Protozoa are unicellular microorganisms. They are included in a separate kingdom, Protista. When we are going to read about animal kingdom in class 10th, you can read about this, that it is under a separate kingdom called Protista. They are found in ponds, lakes, river, sea and damp soil. Protozoa are either saprophytic or parasitic. Now we will talk about the examples of protozoa. you can see Euglena, Paramecium, amoeba. All these are the examples of protozoa. When we talk about Euglena, Euglena contains chlorophyll and it can prepare its own food. In this slide, you can see examples of protozoa, amoeba, Paramecium and Euglena. Now, when we talk about microorganisms, we can divide into two main categories. One is useful microorganisms and one is harmful. Some microorganisms are useful for us and they are used in the various fields in our day-to-day life, and some are harmful, which are giving diseases to our body and plants. When we talk about microorganisms, so I have already told you that some microorganisms are useful to us, and we can say that they are useful to us in many ways, but we will discuss them further. But first of all, I will let you know in brief that they can be used for making food items. It is used in the production of antibiotics, or you can say it has a medicinal use. It can be commercially used for fermentation. It can be used for the production of vaccine. It cleans the environment. It also increases soil fertility. Now we are going to perform an activity and you have to look it at carefully, and in the end of the activity I am having a question. You have to find the answer of that question. Just take milk in a bowl and take some curd and add it with the help of the spoon in the milk. Now keep it for some time, and after some times you will see some changes in the milk. Here you can see that there are some changes. Milk is liquid and it becomes semi-solid. There are some more changes there, that for example, change in the volume, change in the weight, change in the smell and change in the taste. Now this is the process which your mother has been doing every day in your house. So today you have to do it yourself and try to answer my question which is given at the end of this slide. And then the question is, in all conditions can we convert milk into curd?